Hey guys, it's Stacy, and today I wanted to do a review for you, and that review is on Moon Chosen by PC Cast. I recently read this book and I wanted to review on it because I had a lot of things about this book and had a lot of problems with it, so I wanted to do a review on it and talk about it. But this book is about a girl named Mari who is heir to take over like this healing powers in her clan. But she is forced not to until she is chosen by this animal ally, and it goes from there. The tagline for this is chosen to embrace her true identity, chosen to follow her destiny, chosen to change the world. This book, it had a lot of potential to be a really good fantasy book, like a really good starter to a fantasy story, but this book is right at 600 pages, which is too long. Nothing really happened until the very end of this book. And in the synopsis, it talks about how Mari has to fight this great evil, but Mari does not fight a great evil throughout this entire book. Most of this book is kind of just Mari whining and complaining. And another thing they don't put on in the inside or the back is that there are other characters' perspectives in this book, so there are dual perspectives. There's two other perspectives, which threw me off because one second I was reading Mari's perspective and the next it was some other dude, and I was like, what? And had to go back. But I think this book had a lot of potential to be a really good fantasy. Never read anything about like a clan and a tribe like clashing and these clanswomen and these clansmen. One thing I did like was the animal ally thing, like being chosen as it's called a companion. I thought that was really neat because it kind of shows the bond between a human and an animal, and how much an animal can change a human and how much it can help them in like a dark time or a time of need. I really enjoyed that part. That was really well done, and I think that was really great. It kind of reminded me of like service dogs that help people with like depression or PTSD, or eye-seeing dogs, those dogs. It kind of reminded me of that. Kind of helped Mari in a way when she was going through a dark spot, which I really liked. But there's one thing at the beginning of the book that, even though this is kind of a spoiler, I think it should be mentioned, but because it really, it only happened once, but it just did not sit well with me through the entire book. And it was when Mari at the beginning of the book was talking to her mother about her powers and how come she hasn't really grown into them. And she kind of made it, she said something about being slow, like mentally, and making fun of that, and I did not like that. I do not think stuff like that is funny. I don't think it's right, because there's nothing wrong with being mentally slow or having a mental disability that makes it harder for you to learn and comprehend things. As someone who has struggled with dyslexia and not being able to learn as fast as other kids, I did not like that. I did not appreciate that. I think that's very harmful to some people, especially if someone reads this and they really have a strong learning disability that affects them in their daily lives. I think that is not okay to put in a book, especially a YA book. And so that sat wrong with me the entire book. It just irked me because I kept thinking about it, and they played it off as a joke, but I don't think they should have played it off like that at all, or even mentioned it, unless Mari was actually slow, and she's not. But I had a really big problem with that in it, and also there is rape of a minor in here, and events leading up that could be rape. So keep that in mind. It's not till a long ways in the book, but I still think that's something people should know about before going into a book, because in case just reading that one scene can make someone extremely uncomfortable or trigger something, I think that's something that people should know. But for a majority of this book, it was just following Mari around in her daily life. It was weird, and I also didn't like how the characters interacted with each other. I don't know, the way they spoke to each other, there was too many exclamation points, and I don't know, it was kind of like how they talked to each other was kind of like a soap opera, very dramatic, that kind of thing, and I didn't really like that as well. It took me a while to get used to that, and I've never read any other PC Cast books, so I don't know if her other books are like that, but this one was. But I gave this 2 out of 5 stars because, one, the making fun of somebody if they're slow really, really pissed me off and got to me, so that knocked it out like a full star. It's just, this book was too long, and most of it, like, in the description it says things that don't happen for a while, or don't happen at all, and you don't really get a lot of explanation about, Mari is a moon woman. You don't really get a lot of explanation of how that came to be and how they came to be, and how, like, the tribe and the clan, why they hate each other, or why, or what the night fever is, or why when the moon comes out the women are depressed, which really, I'm like, why do only the women have to be depressed? But that's another thing. This book was a trip and a half, though. At some points it was enjoyable. One of the other perspectives was my favorite perspective. He was my favorite to read from, and I wish we got more of him instead of Mari, because I don't really care about Mari. But yeah, this was kind of more of a rant video than a review, but this book, I would, if you're interested in it, read it, because I think it has a lot of potential to be a better, like, be a kind, like, an alright fantasy series, and it has really good ratings on Goodreads. Like, most of the ratings I've seen are 5-star, so most people are enjoying this book. It was a lot to get through. I think it's way too big than it should be, but I do think it was an alright starter to a fantasy series. When the next book comes out, I will be reading it to see if it gets better, because I think PC Cast could do something really good with this series, but, like, I think she needs to fix the thing where she's slow. Like, I don't like that. And the rape wasn't really used as a plot device, but I don't think it was necessary. It's just, it was a time. I did skim some part of this book, so so that is it for this review. Comment if you've read this book or if you plan on reading it, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye!